So how well do you really know your chords? Well, in this video, I want to talk about the 5 levels of knowing chords that can give you freedom when you improvise. One of the biggest things that changed my life when it came to improvisation and also teaching was something that Gary Burton said to me at the end of class one day at Berkeley. And I had asked him, I said, Gary, do you memorize licks and do you use them in your solos? And he said, no, I just know my chords and my chord scales really well. And that was so freeing. And this is why I asked you, how well do you know your chords? So there's 5 levels of knowing your chords, all right? The first level, someone says to you, all right, what's in a C7 chord? And you sit there and you think about it, you know, well, C's got to be one of them. Okay, so you think C, okay, C, D, E, G, B natural. Wrong. It's not that. Okay, first you do want to know the formula. It's 1, 3, 5, flat 7, meaning those are the scale degrees, right? So in a C scale, C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, etc. So in order to form a dominant 7th chord, scale degree 1, 3, 5, and flat 7. So this is someone who's on a level 1 of knowing their scales. They need to take time to think about it, and often they get it wrong because they may not understand their keys. Okay, so that's level 1. Level 2, you are a little bit quicker with naming the scale. You say, okay, C, E, G, B flat. Okay, and you're able to spell it, and you're able to, the fingering, so you can say C, E, G, B flat. All right. Level 3 is where you can play it, but you only play it in one direction. You play it up and down like this. And again, it doesn't have to be that fast or whatever. That wasn't even fast, but it doesn't have to be in 1/8 notes. It could be in quarter notes. It could be in half notes, whatever. But you're playing it up and down in order. Okay, so that's level 3. Level 4 is where you can change up the order a little bit, but you kind of have to think about it. You kind of have to say to yourself, okay, I have C, E, G, B flat. So let's see. Okay, so I skipped the E. I went 1, 5, 3. All right, so okay, I went 1, 5, 3, flat 7. Okay, what if I did 3? Let me see. What can I do to skip around? You see what I'm doing here? I'm having to think about it. All right. So this is level 4, having to think about moving out of order. And this for some people is really painful, okay, because it's so interesting. Let me ask you this question. When you listen to music, does all music move where you have chords? And all music that has chords, do the chords move up and down in order? No, of course not. Some do, like in the mood. Ba ba da ba do ba do ba da do ba, but that starts on the 3rd of the chord. Doesn't matter, it's moving up in order, right? Okay. But that's very rare. Does all music do that? No. Yet instinctively, we know that, and yet we practice our scales and our chords in order all the time. Okay? And what does that do to you? You're training yourself to just play them in order all the time. All right? So now, this 4th level of knowing your chords is thinking about them. Some people would call it inversions, but I'm not thinking about it that way. And could you call it melodic scales? Sure, you could do it like that too. I'm just taking these 4 notes and thinking about, okay, so how can I, instead of doing it in order like this, how can I just change it up, right? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. 3, 7, 1, and I know it's a flat 7. 3, 7, 1, 5, right? Okay, all right, changed it up. Okay, the 5. Okay, so I thought 5, 1, 7, 3. Nice crack. 5, 5, 1, 7, 3. All right. I can do 1, 1, 7. Nah. All right. 1, 7, 3, 5. But the thing is, I still have to think about it. Now, is this the worst thing in the world? No. I'm just talking about the levels of knowing your chords. So once you go through each level, the level you want to get at is level 5, where you don't have to take so much mental energy to be able to go. So that if you're playing like with a drum beat, so I'm moving around and I'm using that beat to try to give me some ideas and stuff like that. But I'm moving around sometimes in order because I chose it because I was conscious of what I was doing, but also out of order because I chose it because I was conscious of what I was doing. I was conscious of what I was doing. Does that make sense? Okay, so the 5 levels of knowing chords. This is usually what people go through when they are learning them. And I did not include reading chords. Did you notice that? Okay, this can be an extra step that most people, including myself, went through. But if you really want to own your chords, you've got to go get away from reading them and just figure them out. Don't give the power to the page, just figure them out. All right, so level 1 is figuring them out, right? So if I have a C7 chord, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking it through, and I'm thinking about the fingerings too. Level 2, I'm able to say it quicker and do the fingerings, okay? Number 3 is I'm playing it up and down in order, all right? And that's how I'm practicing it. And this is where most people stop. They usually do it this way. Level 4, playing it out of order, but it takes you a while to think about it. Some people will call this inversions. Some people will call this melodic cells. Call it whatever you want. But at this level of the game, you're starting to think, I don't always want to start on the 1. And I'm realizing that not all music goes up and down in order in terms of chords and in terms of scales and stuff. All right. And so then you're having to plan it out, though, and think it through. Level 5, you don't have to plan it out and think it through. You know the chord well enough. You know what the notes are, and you could move around. And you can move around freely, and you can create music from that. All you need, honestly, is one note and a good sense of rhythms, right? Some of the best solos are one-note solos, all right? But here, you've got 4 notes to choose from, all right? So hoping this video helped you, and I'm hoping that this video made you see the importance of learning your chords, particularly your chords, and really owning them, and not just playing them up and down in order. Because when you can play them out of order and have the free will, the freedom of choice of how you want to play those notes, and you could change up the rhythms, you could be more present on the bandstand or even just practicing playing along with backing tracks, whatever you like to do. All right, if you got a lot from this video, give it a like, please share it. I'd really appreciate it. And I've got some resources listed in the description below. On that note, take care. Have a great day.